Yo, what's up everybody, Swillow here, and today we are doing the long-awaited and highly requested Zelda guide. So Zelda in this demo, I think a lot of people agree that she doesn't feel like she's as fleshed out as Link and Impa. Her moveset's pretty small compared to them, so it's a bit hard to judge her real potential here, but there are a lot of ideas that we can look at, so let's get right into this. First, let's look at her Y string. So the Y string, we just got a basic hit, a cryo block, and then a stasis. So one thing that's interesting about Zelda's moveset is that since she's using actual Sheikah Slate abilities within her moveset, certain ones can actually trigger the counter effect whenever you hit enemies that are in a counter state. So like let's say an enemy's using a bomb counter state move, you can actually use the bomb option in her moveset and that will count. So that means she's able to trigger counterattacks without actually using up her Sheikah Slate abilities, which is pretty cool. That's a neat, unique trick for her. Next, we have YX. So YX is pretty standard. It has like a good sweeping range, and it leaves the enemies sort of launched popped up right in front of you, so you got an easy follow-up of your choice afterwards. Not much to it, but it does get the job done. YYX. YYX is going to be like her go-to move. You're going to throw out the bomb, and the way her unique action works is that by pressing R2, or sorry, ZR, you can detonate certain actions. So like your X, you can detonate, YYX, you can detonate. So pretty much one of her go-to options in this demo is just doing YYX into the bomb toss and detonating it. Very strong and effective. Next, we have X. So X, she's going to put the cryo blocks in front. These are going to pop enemies up that get hit by them. And then, of course, you can detonate them like I showed earlier to get an AoE explosion effect. Next, we have XX, where she's going to actually climb up on these cryo blocks, and you can detonate these for a bigger effect. And one thing interesting about this is that climbing up here means she can jump off and then go into her aerial options. So she has that 3-hit weak string of cryosicles falling to the ground, and then her strong attack is the bomb drop. Alright, so next up, let me show you a couple little setups you can do with her moveset that I like. First, you can do XX, and when you climb up, you can do another X, and you get surrounded by all these cryo blocks, and you can just detonate that for a pretty strong AoE effect. And then next, you can do YYX, backstep into X, and when you detonate this is a really good AoE effect, especially against like boss type enemies. Now let's look at her Sheikah Slate abilities. First up, we have Cryo. So Cryo is going to put a little cursor, and you can just move it around and sort of mash X. And then afterwards you can detonate all those sickles. So you can drop the sickles directly to get direct damage, or you can create a sort of pattern that will be really effective for detonating afterwards. So let me try to create like a nice pattern here. So you see how much AoE damage that did? That actually forced the boss out. Really good, honestly. Probably the best cryo effect in this demo. Next we have Stasis. Stasis is Stasis. It's pretty straightforward, but it feels like it has a bigger hitbox than Link and Impa Stasis. So once again, a lot of her Sheikah Slate abilities do feel stronger than the other two. Next up, the bomb. So the bomb is definitely the most fun and ridiculous one, in my opinion. So you put out this remote flying bomb, and you just move it around and just hits the enemy. It's shooting bombs out. But that's not even like the best part of it. I'm going to show you the best part of it next, as soon as I get my cooldown back. So when you put this out, you can actually dash cancel out of it, and it'll move on its own, and you can be attacking alongside it. And then of course you can detonate the bombs it leaves out as well with the ZR. And the only thing is when you dash cancel and let it move on its own, it's going to move straight the direction you have it facing. So you have to line it up properly so that you don't like send it off. See, like if I do this and then dash cancel, it's gonna go off that way, which means that you're not really gonna get an effective use out of it. But usually, like a lot of big boss type enemies like this, it'll sort of get stuck against their body for a bit before it'll eventually like slide by. So you can get some pretty solid damage out of that alongside fighting with it. So really cool. I like that option a lot with her. Next we have Magnesis. So Magnesis, she's gonna pull some stuff out of the ground, and I believe this works anywhere. Like she can just use this anywhere. She doesn't have restrictions to it like Impa and Link do. So once she pulls this out, what you're gonna do is you're going to just use your ZR, like your unique action, and you can detonate it. And I don't know if that's really all that effective, but there may be like a little trick to it, or it may get stronger if you do actually have Magnesis elements around you as well. I don't know, like I have to explore it more, but so far it seems like the weakest of her rune abilities. Alright, so let me get rid of this guy, and then we'll go on and finish this up. Honestly, I pretty much talked about everything I need to talk about with her, but I can show, especially on this next boss, like how her kit works. Like in terms, I was saying you can do counter abilities with her moveset. So we can wait for when this boss is going to do his bomb ability, or his ability that I can bomb counter, and then I can just use my YYX to break it. He's gonna take his time, of course. Alright, he doesn't want to do it at all. I might have to fight him a little bit before I can get it out of him.
I can still fight. I'm fine.
So you can do that kind of setup against him. So here we go. I'm gonna do YYX, throw the bomb. So you see that counts as a actual counter, even though I didn't use the Chica Slate ability. So pretty cool stuff. Try to get that flare. Also, I forgot to talk about her running attacks, but her running Y is just like a sweeping horizontal attack, and her running X is similar to her standing X, where she throws out some cryo blocks. You can actually use her running X, like you can spam it in succession like twice, and then detonate it for a pretty good AoE effect as well. So I wish I kind of showed that off, but it's pretty similar to her standing X. It's just mobile version of it. And the same deal with her running Y as well. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Peace.